following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries.
Thank you for listening to UBM Talk.
Now here is the Let's Stay Together show with Reverend Ricardo McCain and author Brenda McCain, helping you to rebuild your relationships with God.
Hey, and welcome to the Let's Stay Together show. I'm your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, author Brenda McCain. How you doing, baby? You got to talk into the mic. That's what you got to do.
I'm doing great.
Okay.
Can you hear me back?
I can hear you. Talk on, talk on.
Okay. Welcome to the Let's Stay Together Talk radio show where we learn the rhythms of all relationships, and to know our glory, you have to do what, babe?
You've got to know our backstory. Slow down, girl. I know this is your show, but just relax a little. Take a deep breath. You can't hear? Okay, we'll work on that. Maybe the thing ain't in all the way, so you can still talk. You ain't got to hear to talk.
Okay, well, anyway, we're about to have some fun tonight. Okay, tonight's topic is Team Light, Team Dark, Team Sisterhood, 1 million shades of black beauty. For generations, it seems within the black race, we have been at war with each other. While we have heard and maybe even said jokes about light-skinned black people versus dark-skinned black people, it's still a very sensitive subject to discuss. For the purpose of this broadcast, we are trying to come together as Team Sisterhood and remove the stigma that has plagued us for so many years as a race divided by colorism. Sit back and relax because the McCain Train is about to take you on a journey for the next 2 hours as we look at light skin versus dark skin and where it began with slavery. Yes, I did say it, and you should know it, where it began with slavery. You will hear the stories of growing up light skin and dark skin from our guests and how colorism has affected their self-esteem or not affected their self-esteem. To learn more about black people being enslaved for over 200 years, during which they were not even considered to be human, let alone beautiful, go to our website, http://letsstaytogethershow.webs.com. That's letsstaytogethershow.webs.com. Now, tonight is so many beautiful women on the McCain Train. I'm just going to say welcome, ladies, all in one. And at my table right now, we're going to welcome my licensed practitioner, Counselor Leslie Holly, to the McCain Train again. Then we got the beautiful Judy over here. We have Shari, we have Kim, and we have Bernadine at the mic this first hour. But we have a whole bunch of other beautiful women walking around. But before we get started, yeah, that's right, I was waiting on that. All these beautiful women, pull them up. Our scripture goes to Psalms 139:14. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. That's King James Version. Call in. We need you to call in tonight, 312-754-4333.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to figure out. I don't even know why I'm on this show today because I'm just kind of like in the room or something like that. So you probably won't hear my voice that much today. So I'm just going to speak for a few seconds. And yeah, I know, isn't that sad? But, this is Team Light, Team Dark, Team Sisterhood. And so they're going to team up and do their thing. And I'm going to try to jump in when I can. So, baby, do your thing.
My thing is the reason for this show, which I was told before, Brenda, why does it matter to you? Because you're neither light or dark. I call myself the IG, the invisible girl, because the topic always been the light skin versus the dark skin. So I decided when I have my friends, light and dark, and they always have these stories that they're telling, especially after I've seen it on Oprah Winfrey Network, it's like we need a show about this. We need to break the stigma. And not that these young ladies don't get along here, because I'm sure they would, if they know each other, they would love each other, or else you wouldn't have been on the show. Y'all got that right? Okay. But we just want to have a roundtable discussion with some questions I pose towards everyone. And you just tell us a little bit about, are you happy in the skin that you were born in? And I'm going to let you know Leslie is going to be the one that's going to really guide this through with me. And, of course, Rick, you are here. So
yeah, well, I'm going to say something. I don't. It ain't going to be no man. Let's not forget it's a man's world. So I just want y'all to know that. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I was
as
waiting
long as
on
you know
him.
that. It's a man's world. I don't have to sing it, do I?
No, you don't.
Okay,
No,
go ahead.
no, you don't.
I'm okay then.
But my first question I'm going to throw out on the table is, are you happy in your skin? And this goes to you, Judy.
Absolutely. As a young girl, I was not as comfortable, but today I am very comfortable and very happy.
Why weren't you comfortable?
Because everyone around me was about light skin, long hair. I can't even say that I remember dark girls getting noticed at the time. Everything was light skin, long hair, and all of my friends were light skin, long hair. So I was like you, also invisible.
Right.
But today, my daughter is hot chocolate, and I'm caramel. I have light-skinned people in my family, so we kind of, you are who you are.
Do you think, okay, growing up, and we in the same era, growing up, did you, because you're, like I said, invisible, you didn't get it either way as the stuff other people had tossed at them? Because, I mean, I'm seriously saying it just never affected me. I never even thought about the complexion thing until I seen that video. And it's like, wow, I didn't know. You know, light-skinned people, beautiful, dark-skinned people, every race is beautiful, but we don't know our problems until someone brings them to us. And so I'm going to switch over to you, Shari. You're a light-skinned, beautiful lady as well. What was it like for you growing up?
I don't know that I really ever had to deal with it, because you're right. You do kind of grow up privileged, and people do things for you, and they treat you differently, and I've never had a problem probably with anything because of that, but I've never thought about it either. I don't know. Just for instance, when I go to a job interview, I'm confident, you know, because I'm going in there, and my idea is I'm going to get this job. And when you walk in, they look at you, and the first thing you do is, whether they're black or white, they look at you, and they kind of give you a nod like, oh, okay, you know, immediately before I open my mouth. And then when they find out you're intelligent, they say, oh, okay, I'm going to hire her. Not only, you know, she looks nice, but she's intelligent. So I've never had to worry about it. But I do know that there's a big difference.
Okay, thank you for your honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Kim, how did you feel? Another light-skinned beauty with green eyes.
Well, when I was growing up, I did have it rough from my peers because I was light-skinned, long hair, and green eyes. So I kind of got, you know, pushed around from my darker-skinned neighbors or classmates and stuff like that. But by the time I got to high school, I kind of had confidence in who I was as a person and did not see color because I have a rainbow in my family on both sides. You know, my mom's side and my dad's side. My grandmother was white. So, and my grandfather was mixed. And so I understand that, you know, some people had it a little difficult, but I also had it difficult, too, to my own degree and extent, being a light-skinned person. I guess I never really paid attention to whether or not there was favoritism or I got looked at any different from another woman of a darker color because I wasn't taught to see color. But I did experience it as a child, you know, from friends.
But that's so interesting. Most light-skinned people don't see it. They don't have the problem with it. But the darker-skinned woman, it comes at them left and right. And I could see a lot of their resentment because no one asked to be here. And I'm not saying anything about the light-skinned sisters because it's like, okay, you didn't ask to be here, you light-skinned. And, yes, the plague does fall on the brown-skinned sisters. And, Bernadine, I'm coming to you because you share something with me. I would like for you to share with everyone else.
Okay. I didn't see color growing up, but I thought I wasn't pretty. And as I got older and older, 54, and I'm proud of it.
Yes, yes.
I love my skin. And I love beautiful women around me, and its color I didn't see it. Like Brenda, we were talking, and my mom is light-skinned, and my dad is dark-skinned, but I never saw color. And I just love it now.
And you should love that beautiful brown skin. And I remember when I met Bernadine's mom, she's in the range of this, right?
Yes.
All this beautiful color over here. I actually was one of those people and I said it to myself, that's Bern's mother? And then when I looked at it, I'm like, oh, my God, they look alike. It's just a different shade. And if people could get over colorism, which I'm about to give you the definition. Prejudice or discrimination people can face based on the lightness or darkness of their skin tone, and this phenomenon occurs within one's own ethnic group. So it's really us fighting against one another, which is ridiculous. And I could see the jealousy rising up between the complexion tone. Like Leslie, you know, when I first met her, I saw she's just so beautiful in life. And it's like, I mean no harm saying it, but I constantly say that. You know, it's like we need to all stop doing. I need to correct myself. So Leslie, are you happy within your own skin?
Yeah, I can definitely say that I am. You know, and listening to the ladies' stories, you know, my story is really different. I think I can relate to the first speaker in that, you know, I grew up in an all-white suburb of Naperville, Illinois, and in the 90s, being one of the only blacks. So I never felt like I belonged. I knew I was different. So when I undergrad, I went to Howard University at a historically black college, and that's where I started to hear a lot of, not necessarily the light-skin, dark-skin thing, but, you know, you talk white, you act white. Even when I was in Naperville, you know, we joined a black church. My mom made sure I was in activities with other black children. And there was always this, you act white, you talk white, you think you're better than. So I got it from both ends. You know, I felt like I wasn't fully accepted with the whites, but then I wasn't fully accepted with the blacks. And I think that all people of color, you know, all black people, we have a story. All of us have a different story, and it's important to kind of know what we're up against and what we're dealing with, and then decide what we want to do about that. You know, if we want to let that kind of become a part of who we are, or how we're going to deal with it. I know, you know, in my profession and what I do and places I go, people make assumptions about me all the time. It could be because of my skin color, could be the way I talk, it could be anything. But I just have to, you know, sometimes give myself some positive self-talk and say, you know what, I know who I am. But it's a reality. It's a real reality that, you know, darker-skinned blacks don't have that privilege. They don't have, there's many studies that show that, and we need to acknowledge that in our community. And we don't acknowledge it enough. And I don't see, you know, if we don't acknowledge it, it's just like when white people don't acknowledge racism. It's the same thing.
It's worse when it's within your own
exactly.
race. Yes. That leads me to this question that always is just a big question mark. Why do you think it is so much hatred between light-skinned girls and dark-skinned girls? Anyone jump right on in on that one.
Well, Brenda, I think that a lot of it is just ignorance, because growing up, you never heard people say she thinks she's cute about dark-skinned girls. It's always they go after the light-skinned girls. You never heard that about the individual girls or the girls with the nappier hair. It's the light-skinned girls no matter what. So I think it was just that an assumption that we were taught or maybe viewed, you know, learned behavior.
And the sad part is when you see a dark-skinned girl and you just say, oh, my gosh, she's pretty to be dark. Why she have to be pretty to be dark?
Exactly.
Why can't she just be pretty? You don't really say that. That's why I said I did that with her and caught myself. Oh, she's pretty to be light, just to switch it around. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, that is so wrong. And I can't stand the way it's been perpetuated over the whole century that we as women do not stick together. Because I was telling someone, it would be so nice if someone could just compliment someone and just say, oh, Kim, you rocking that blue. That blue my favorite color. Because I could go down the line. That's just me, who I am. I love my women, and I'm straight. Y'all know my husband. But I would compliment a woman in a heartbeat. But what I used to do was, because I'm the in-between color, when I felt like, okay, I'm in a room, I downplay myself. And I lift other people up. My mother used to tell me, stop doing that. They don't like you. They don't like you. Exactly. See, the thing is, with the light ones, like you just made a good point, Shari, I got this job. You went in with skills and confidence, but your color shield had you a foot in the door. Whereas someone that's darker, and Bern, I'm saying this